What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our match reaction after Liverpool draw 0-0 with Arsenal at the Emirates. But look, as somebody said to me at the end of the watch-along, not all scoreless draws are the same, and this one certainly feels like a far more positive one than the home 0-0 draw with Leeds United. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be extremely frustrated that their team couldn't push on in the second half. But as a Liverpool fan, you know what? Hand on heart, that was a good performance. That was a good performance, and they all deserve the credit for it. Look, I know we didn't win the game, and I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that we were at our absolute glorious best, but that was a performance that I can honestly say, well done. The manager in the second half sent us out and we looked way better. The lads gave Arsenal nothing in the second half and can probably feel like they created a bit themselves. So loads to go through. We will, of course, take you through it. Thank you again to our sponsors. Big up. I just want to get straight to this one. Can I explain the Martinelli thing, please, Craig? Certainly. So right at the end of the game, let's say 2 minutes left in stoppage time, Connor Bradley clears the ball on the near side. Nobody within 5 yards of him. He clears and immediately you can see when he lands, he messes up his knee and he goes down in agony. Martinelli comes over. At first, bounces the ball off him, and then a couple of seconds later, while he's in agony, tries to drag him off the pitch. Out of sheer frustration that they created nothing and that they weren't able to score. It is to see one professional do that to another professional that went off on a fucking stretcher, by the way. Went off on a stretcher. He's that badly injured in an agony. And Martinelli thinks it's okay to throw a ball at him and then try to drag him off the pitch. It's just disgusting. Disgusting from one pro to another, honestly. Let's not let that be the topic we discuss here today. Let's talk about the credit that our boys deserve for going there. Whatever Arna's game plan was, it was always going to be one that was without a centre forward. And I have to give credit where it's due. And I want to give credit where it's due. Liverpool played very well today. And we defended magnificently well. Every single one of them stood up. And in the second half, we outplayed Arsenal at their own gaff and showed that, yes, without a centre forward, we were going to be lacking something. But I can't but be happy with that performance. It's a clean sheet. We can talk about the unbeaten in 10 stuff, and we will go back over that and back and forth. But look, I am not a hater, and I call it as it is. I'm very proud of the lads for that performance. And it's something I hope that we do and can build on. There are still things that I'm not happy about. We'll talk about that down the line. But each game at a time. And at any point, a draw away from home at the Emirates is not a bad result. But in the circumstances that we came into this game, many people feeling it could be an absolute landslide with Liverpool without a recognised centre forward. I'm very proud of them. And what I have to say is I've criticised Arna a lot this season for doing things at half-time that have set us back in the second half. Well, this time, whatever he did at half-time, we went in the other direction and we bossed the game in the second half. And up until, I think, about 82, 83 minutes, Arsenal hadn't had a shot in the second half. So I certainly am leaving this game as a Liverpool fan feeling far more upbeat than I would dare say Arsenal fans are about it. Because, again, they showed no impetus in their own gaff to go and win that game. And that is their situation to deal with. But for us, it's a point, and we build from it. Never thought I'd be this happy, but I'm really genuinely happy with that scoreline because we played really well. And, it wasn't one where we had to rely on worldies from our goalkeeper. Everybody stood up. The system was done so that, yes, there was going to be some sacrifices attackingly. Frimpong tried to make up for that. But, lads, look, let's be honest. It was a damn good performance and a damn good answer to what we want from them. Build on this now, boys. Build on this. It is a draw. But it's a 0-0 draw. It's another clean sheet. And I'm sorry if I'm overreacting, but the relief I feel as a Liverpool fan with what we've seen recently and the level of unacceptable performances, this feels like something worth giving them credit for. Right, the man of the match poll is open for you to have your say. Milos Kerkez, Dominic Szoboszlai, Jeremy Frimpong or Connor Bradley do have your vote. Just a reminder as well, if you did play with us on Big Up today, thank you and well done to everyone that did win some prizes. But come and join us on Big Up, where you can play the Anfield Agenda Community Predictions game for every single Liverpool game for the remainder of the season. Choose the Anfield Agenda watch along and click on the predictions game and pick your answers from the list of yes or no questions. Predictions over on Big Up is a sweepstakes game where you can win prizes for all of our watch alongs, and there's even a free to play option. Answer at least 2 questions, choose your entry amount, and decide if you'd like to join with a power play or flex play option. In power play, you've got to get every single one of your selections right to win a prize, but in power play, as long as you've made a minimum of 3 selections, you can get at least 1 wrong and still win a prize. Scan the QR code on the screen, download the Big Up iOS app, or go over to bigup.com and join us for the next Liverpool game. As a thank you, when you join Big Up and enter your first predictions game, Big Up will give you $5 or 500 big bucks as a thank you for playing. That can be used for future entries to predictions games, or also to donate or tip your favourite content creators. Come over and join us for the games. You've got the answers. It's either yes or it's no. A reminder that predictions games on Big Up are 18s and over only. And thank you so much to everybody for their support. Right. Whew, catch your breath, Craig. Catch your breath. Let's get into some of the comments. Right, where were we at? This from Tipsy Dipsy. Probably our best draw we've had so far. Martinelli is an embarrassment, said Adam Brown. Aaron Jones said that behaviour by Martinelli was disgusting, but a better performance, especially in the second half, much better than expected. Yeah, agree with everything you've said. Yeah, I'm really happy tonight. I know it's a draw, and we are the defending champions, and it doesn't really do much for us to move up the league table, but it certainly does a lot for the psyche. And they went today and showed that they're capable of it. And the game plan was one that worked today. So everybody, including Arna today, deserves that credit. Wayne, TOTT2KZ1, said, I take a point today for once, and I say Slot is right up in my eyes. Slot set us up right in my eyes for this game. Sorry for Bradley, but I think we need another right back in the summer. On the Bradley thing, I can't disagree with you. It's so unfortunate, but the injuries are often, unfortunately for him. Gomez is back fit. That does give us the cover. And Frimpong, of course, has done really, really well since he's come back in. Right, this one. Roy Keane. He said, in the second half, Liverpool controlled it. They were by far the better team. And I can't disagree with Roy Keane on that. In the second half, we absolutely were the better side. And that is a credit to the tactics and the performance by the players. Souness would have punched Martinelli in the face. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, armchair hard man. But if I'm on a football pitch and my teammate's in agony and Martinelli does that, I'm happily taking a 3-game ban for knocking him out. Because I'd never ever condone it from anybody else to do it. But it is so disgusting. I can't emphasise enough what type of scumbag behaviour that was from Martinelli. Because this isn't a lad trying to waste time. This wasn't a feigning of going down. He was in agony. And it wasn't once, it was twice. He threw the ball at him and then tried to drag him off the pitch. I cannot accept that from one professional to another. Nor should anybody have to. It is disgusting. Disgusting. And I think our lad showed tremendous restraint in only a bit of pushing and shoving, because it could have made that worse for all we know. If he was dragging him off, he could have made that injury even worse. It was just so unnecessary for Martinelli, and I hope he gets reprimanded by his coach for it, but, it is just not right. This 0-0 felt better than the Leeds one, said Arthur Smith. Of course, much better, because we should be beating Leeds, especially at home. But a good, solid, not conceding away from home against Arsenal, it's a result that you should be happy with. Martinelli is lucky it isn't in the 90s, or he would be leaving on a stretcher too. What a bell end. Imagine Roy Keane, or Steven Gerrard, or Patrick Vieira, or anyone, if their teammate was like that in the 90s or 90s. It's bottom of the barrel stuff for Martinelli. It really is. Souness would have punched Martinelli in the face. Arsenal, a bunch of, again, not my words, but I'm reading it out, loser rats that have forever be remembered for the worst £1 billion squad of all time. Look, Arsenal will probably go on to win the league, and fair play to them. But yet again today, they showed an inability to kill off one of the big teams. Last year when we went there, we were 2-1 down, and Martinelli, interestingly, was running to the corner flag with 11 minutes to go, and we found an equaliser. The narrative coming into this game was that we were going to get a pasting, and I feared for a beating as well. Not a pasting, but a beating. And I'm sitting here now, absolutely buzzing, flying, delighted with the performance, delighted with the fight and the grit. And on the substitutions thing, I actually understand why Arne didn't make changes today, because it was working so well. And yes, we could talk about counter-attack and Rio's pace or Chiesa or whatever, but it could have gone the other way as well. And with the fact that there's an FA Cup game at home on Monday, I get where he came from today with the changes. I'd be interested to hear from the manager on it. But for me, I'm not as angry about a lack of changes today as I would have been perhaps on other days. This one. All that hype from Arsenal for nothing. What Martinelli did to Bradley was crazy. Deserves a ban. The result was good, but I don't think it's good enough to keep Slot. Look, it's one game. It's one game, and let's see and hope we build on it. But, you know, I always say, mate, I call it as I see it. And when it's not good enough, I'm going to say it's not good enough. But today, I'm happy with that. And I think as fans, we can at least live with that today, because what we want, the fight, the spirit, the effort was all there. Stonewall pen for me, David said. On the Wirtz one, I still would love to see a few more replays of that, because I didn't see an Arsenal player get a touch on the ball, and I guess the only argument might have been, did Wirtz knock it too far ahead of him? But other than that, it felt like there would have been no complaints if it had been a penalty. But again, I'm not going to. I don't want to be that today. You know, I don't want to sit here and try to cry about being hard done by or whatever. It is what it is, but I'm proud of the performance today, and that's the narrative that I'd like to put into the world today. Build on this now. Don't let this be a one-off. Build on it. Unbeaten till the end of the season, says Abdullah. Mark my words. Well, that stunk of desperation. No subs is insane. I disagree. And like I said, I'm happy to be corrected on it, but I disagree on the substitution thing, because I think he did it because of, one, the lack of real seniority there on the bench. Jones, that we don't know how fit he is. Chiesa, look, we know he doesn't like. For once, I'm actually going to say I understand no substitutions, because everybody was doing their bit. And if any team was looking like they were fatiguing out there, it was the home side. So for me, genuinely, I think the manager, I understand it entirely. Yeah, I've no complaints on no substitutions. Just me personally, I don't. Why can't we play like this every game? There's no reason why we can't. And then if you threw in, let's say, if we had an Ekatike today or an Isak, I'd have said we'd have won that game. You know, especially with the way Frimpong was doing. He was having a lot of joy. So yeah, I think understand it's not being very creative as much as we would have wanted, because a lot of our creativity was unavailable. Defended really well. Midfield did their part. Look, it's weird being so praising of a 0-0 draw. But honestly, I feel upbeat after it, and I feel proud of that performance from the team. Sigs after a 6 enjoyer said Martinelli, a horrible player and human being. I'm still not happy. The manager still needs to go. Look, I'm not saying the manager doesn't need to go, mate. I don't think he'll turn it round. I don't think that he's good enough. I don't. That's my take long term. But today, I call it as I see it, and I give him credit, because today that team played. Today he wasn't out-taught. He wasn't out-fought. Today he overseen a performance that got a job done and kept a clean sheet. And I will take that any day of the week, especially in a difficult away game. The impetus was on Arsenal there to prove that they are a cut above everyone, to prove that they are champions elect. And if anything, Manchester City are going to be sitting there now going, they still have a wobble in them, because that was not convincing from an Arsenal perspective. We had Ekatike on board. Look, it's unfortunate on that regard. It is. Dominic Soboslai said, "We faced an unbelievable team, but we showed again today why we became champions last season. This is a step forward after the recent weeks." It's certainly a step in the right direction. No argument, but it has to be a consistent step and not a one-off step. I don't have a negative thing to say about a single Liverpool player today, really. And I'm actually quite looking forward to the player ratings video. If you want to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp and submit your player ratings, scan the QR code there in the bottom right-hand corner, the green, just beside the green sign in the bottom right-hand corner, or go to the description of this stream and you'll see it in there if you want to come across and join us. Arsenal are going to bottle the league to City now, said Abdullah. Martinelli shoving Bradley when he was injured really pissed me off. No need for that. It's not just the shoving. Watch it back. He threw the ball at him once and then he tried to drag him off. But I feel like I don't want to get caught up in that conversation again, because honestly, it boiled my blood seeing Martinelli do that. But in another way, it showed us that they were frustrated as fuck that they couldn't do anything. And in that second half, that was it. They did nothing. You know, up to the 82nd minute or something, they hadn't even had a shot at home in the second half. So I'll take some yeses from that one. Soboslai said, "We hardly created chances, but I think if I have a better day, I have some better shots." You can find some of these quotes over on the Anfield Agenda X account, by the way. And look, he had a couple of free kicks, maybe could have tested the keeper with, but yeah, I'm going to go to bed a happy man tonight, hopefully for multiple reasons. Joey McDonald said, "Disappointed the boys didn't kick off properly. It could have done more damage to Bradley. It's a week. It shows that there is no real connection." Yeah, it's a tough one, Joey, isn't it? Because I also don't want their players getting sent off there in a moment where we were about to see out and get the result, and you don't want Arsenal to have an extra man for the last couple of minutes. But I dare say a few words were probably said at the end of that match and in the tunnel afterwards. And I know certainly if I was in a Liverpool shirt that I'd have been making a beeline directly to Martinelli, because that is just not the type of behaviour one professional footballer should be doing to another. Like, if he was feigning injury, you'd understand it a bit more. But it was so clear that Bradley was seriously injured because there was no one near him. He made a clearance and immediately went down and writhing around in agony. So I'm more concerned now about that injury, and I hope we don't get bad news on Connor, but I fear we may. Happy New Year, Craig. I'm pleased to see Kirkes in the poll. I thought he was brilliant tonight. He was brilliant. Combative in the right way. Aggressive in the right way. And we limited them to very, very little. So, yeah, I'm proud tonight. But it needs to be, we build on this. This needs to be the start of it. And again, we go forward. But I want to make something clear. I know a lot of people are going to ask me, am I still manager in, manager out? I am still manager out. But I'm not going to just be toxic when there's no need to be toxic. Today is the day to say well done. Well done, because we battled. Abdullah said Arsenal are a ratty team and manager. When we're underdogs and no pressure, we play. Perhaps, I said all week in the build-up to this one, whatever happens, I do think Liverpool are going to go there and play with professional pride. Whatever else may or may not be going on, they're not going to want to go there and just roll over and hand Arsenal an easy win. We are the ones with that gold badge on the sleeve still. So, yeah, very happy the lads stepped up today and delivered a good performance. Dominic Soboslai said, "It's always about fight. In the Premier League, you have to fight to get results. Each of us showed today we were able to do it." Indeed, we were. Also from Dom, He said, it still looks like I have to practice my shooting even more. Yeah, the first free kick he took he was way off the target. The second one, a lot closer. Craig, I heard something about Grafenbergs to Real Madrid for 105 million. Yeah, you'll don't worry about it. You'll see 50,000. You'll see Maka next week, Soboslai the week after. Liverpool are in contract negotiations with those three. I'm not saying that I'll be tied down to deals, but I wouldn't be worrying about Real Madrid and £105 million bid for Grafenberg. Yeah, he's a Liverpool player, and I still think we need a number 6. Ironically, though. I've never seen a manager who chooses not to use substitutes even if the bench is weak. Look, I could be in the minority on this one, lads, but I can only give you my opinion and read out your opinion, and of course, everybody is entitled to their opinions on it. I think if you had a league game on Monday, this would have been different. Or if we had an FA Cup game against a Premier League opponent, I think he would have looked to the bench differently. But with the fact that we do now have until next weekend? Is it? When's our next game after Barnsley? Sorry, let me just check the calendar. We're at Saturday. So we have 9 days. 9 days now. And honestly, I think with players coming back, he just wanted to get every ounce he could out of those players today. And that's why I say I understand it, because yes, it could have gone in a positive way, but it could have gone in a negative way. And the players were doing so well. I can only just say my opinion, and my opinion is I can understand it today. The would-be champion sitting back at home after dominating the first half. Arteta is a coward. Great job, Liverpool, said Adamus. Will said, evening, Craig. Great to say this again. It's been a long time, but that performance deserved the applause it will get. Every player put in a shift. It's all we ask if that continues. Exactly, Will. Exactly, mate. We say it time and time again. We forgive a lot as football fans, whatever club you support. But you won't forgive a lack of perceived effort on the pitch. And there have been some times when we've just felt like they're going through the motions. Today, that was a performance that fans can get their teeth stuck into and rightly give some credit to. Well done. Well done. Will Canade be suspended? No. Though that reset, I'm not sure if it was just before the Fulham game or just after the Fulham game, but it resets now. I don't know if the number's gone to 8 or 10. Before game week 33, I think, is the next point for the Yellows to reset a certain degree. But, don't quote me on that. But no, he won't be suspended now because we've gotten past the threshold of when 5 would get you suspended. Bradley's is okay. Canada 5 yellows, 1 match ban. Nope, it doesn't. He doesn't get a ban, because we've gone past the halfway point of the season. So, he's avoided that ban. If he had got it, I think... If he had got it either in the game before the Fulham game or the Fulham game, he would have been suspended. But it was reset in the 20th game, said Christina van der Merwe, which is what I was saying. So, you don't have to worry about Canada being suspended because he isn't. What else have we got? Done that one. This is sad news, in that Arne Slot says he fears the worst for Conor Bradley, which is I feel so bad for Conor. It just feels like Conor Bradley's body isn't fit for the rigors of constant football at the top level, because these are the conversations I have a lot of pain talking about, because no football player ever wishes injury. And it feels incredibly disrespectful to talk about moving past somebody when it's their body letting them down and it's not a lack of effort letting them down. But unless it changes drastically going forward, you can't just rely on it. Because Bradley, for as good as he is when he comes on, This is already his second or third spell out this season. And this one could be a serious one. And, it's always those innocuous ones where there's nobody near them that you worry about the most. So, fingers crossed. Huh. Somebody just, Keane just said to me, Lee was laughing at Martinelli pushing Bradley off the pitch. Interesting. Well, I'll certainly be taking that up with Lee when we have a chat about the game, because my thoughts will be very different to laughing about it. My thoughts will be that he's a toe-rag little scumbag. Not Lee, Martinelli. I'm a Chelsea fan, infuriated. Martinelli's a disgrace and deserves a ban, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he should be banned as well. Like I said, one professional intentionally trying to drag a very injured professional off the pitch. It's just there's just no common sense to it. Like, it just beggars belief. James, how are you, mate? And thank you. I voted Kirkes. He killed Saka. Put him in his pocket. Madueke, first game, and now Saka in the line. Great performance, and thanks for a great podcast, Craig. My pleasure. Appreciate you. Right, man of the match poll. We'll let it get to 10,000 votes, and then we'll call it, folks. If you haven't had your vote, please do. We're asking, who is your Anfield Agenda man of the match? Milos Kerkez, Dominic Szoboszlai, Jeremy Frimpong, or Connor Bradley? Arthur Smith says, Arteta has an inferiority complex when he faces Liverpool. Liverpool had a 70% chance of winning and they didn't. Bottle jobs. What? Oh, I read that wrong, dude. Sorry. It's Arsenal. I owe you an apology, bro. Sorry. I completely read that wrong. Abdullah said Arsenal had a 70% chance of winning and they didn't. Bottle jobs. Sorry, mate. My bad for reading that out incorrectly the first time. They just seem to have a mental block when it comes trying to beat us. Like I said, last year Martinelli was running to the corner flag. And it came back to bite him in the arse. Look, today, I don't want it to be about Arsenal. I want it to be about our boys, and I'm proud of our boys for that performance. If I was a player, Martinelli would be in the stand, said find the pass. Scratching Claimer said, I would have two-footed Martinelli and stepped in his face repeatedly. Let's trust and slot this season. May well be a special one with a Champions League win. Look, I'm not going to turn my opinion on the manager around based off one game. We still need to get to winning and get to looking more convincing. But today, as a difficult away game, which it always is, against an opponent who's flying with confidence, I'm very proud, and Arna and every one of our players deserves credit for today. There is no doubt in that in my mind whatsoever. They're all deserving of every bit of praise they get today. But it needs to carry on from here, and it needs to, keep trending in the right direction, and we need to bring it to every game, not just in the big occasions. The 0-0 with Leeds could have been different with that type of attitude. And that has been a lot of the frustrations, is it didn't feel like today you could see the intensity. Today you could see the effort. Today you could see the desire. And it's reflected in the comments from everyone. Didinho said 2 pens, in my opinion. Verts taken out, Frimpong tripped. The Verts one, I'm still baffled as to what VAR's thoughts were on it. The only potential saving grace is maybe they thought he'd knocked the ball too far ahead or something. I don't know. But certainly, I don't see any Arsenal player touching that ball. But again, I don't want to focus on negatives and what ifs again. I want to focus on the praising and the clean sheet. In fairness, our bench is very weak, says Abdullah. It is at the minute, mate. Yeah, it is. Don't know why VAR didn't look into Martinelli. Yeah, it's weird because throwing a ball at somebody is one thing, and then come to drag him off the pitch is another thing. Like, we've seen Michael Keane sent off for pulling a player's hair the other day. And I would argue that there was far more physical threat to the situation today when you had an injured player being manhandled and a ball thrown at him. But like I said, we ain't in the VAR hub and we ain't the referee. Killian, thank you, bro. This match is a good way of being 10 games unbeaten. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, today, like I said, every draw needs context in it. And today's draw, the context is a good draw and a deserved draw and a good performance. Right, have we got to the 10,000 votes? We are only 70 away. And if you can, folks, do drop a like. I mean, come on, we're nearly at 1,000 likes. Hit that like button for me. Oshmoose said, love that Frimpong and Ibu press that clown. Credit to Slot, he's starting to turn a corner. I mean, I don't know if he is or isn't, mate. But yes, credit to Slot and the boys for today, definitely. I mean, we can address the turning a corner thing down the line when we see the rest of the fixtures coming up in the next few weeks. But today's a good day. Toothless never had a feeling we'll score. But there is context to Toothless today. We don't have a centre forward. And we also don't have Mohamed Salah. And we know he doesn't use Chiesa or Rio. So we were very limited in our attacking options. So Toothless is at least a little bit less frustrating today. Look, I can only keep repeating this. I'm a happy bunny today. That's a result I can get behind and a performance I can get behind. And, you know, if we had have had a bit more attacking intent, maybe we opened up a bit more and it ends differently. It's Monday morning quarterback stuff. But right now, as I sit here, I'm happy with a 0-0 draw. And I would have taken it before the game, and I'd have taken it. Could we have won it? Yes. Second half, we were the better side, but all in all, today goes down in my books as a good day. No subs today allows bench to come on fresh in the FA Cup, and hopefully he'll have one or two back as well, so we could play Jones then. We might have Hugo back. Maybe you can give Hugo 60 in that game. Also be interesting to see if he does give the likes of Neone a start. Calvin Ramsey was with us today again. So, there are some interesting decisions for Monday. Always back the club and whoever is manager, second guessing last games, but this club needs the passion back as it's lacking. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, the passion is definitely something we need to fight to get back. But again, today we showed a lot of grit on the pitch. Glad you didn't make changes. Great shape tonight, said David. Toddy said, I do understand Slot making any subs as the starting 11 put in a real shift to frustrate Arsenal in their own backyard. That is exactly where my head was at, mate. If I genuinely thought that there were substitutes there that were so glaringly obvious to do that were the right things, I would have said it. But like you've said and like I've said, I can understand it today not making a change. I can. Especially with the 9 days before the next league game. This game better not be FSG on Slot, or better not. I don't know what you mean by being FSG on Slot. Look, he got a draw today. It's one result. It's a decent result. But for me, any opinion formed on a manager isn't done on 1 or 2 games. It's done over the course of a season. And he says himself, judge us at the halfway point of a season. At the halfway point of the season, we are, what are we now, still 14 points behind the league leader. So, hanging on in. What have we got the gap to teams below us now? Let's have a quick look at the league table. So Villa are 8 points ahead of us in third. We're 2 points clear of Brentford, 3 points clear of Newcastle, and 3 points clear of Manchester United. So, bit of a little buffer in fourth place. But let's build on that, and let's hope the next league game we win and we can start to try and chase down Villa. Hope we can build on this go-to channel after every game. Big ups from South Africa. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. It's Boniface. Thank you for your support and much love and Happy New Year to you in South Africa. Craig, hopefully the lads keep building on this and we give it to City at Anfield. Yeah, that City game is going to be an interesting one, all right. Arteta on Martinelli. He probably doesn't know it's a serious injury. It's not his intention to do anything to him. Fuck you, Lego head. Be honest. He's a scumbag, Mikel. And if he did know that it was a serious thing when he threw the ball at him, he certainly knew it then 5 or 6 seconds later when he was trying to drag him off the pitch and the player was wincing in pain. To try to even, in any way, countenance that absolute scumbag behaviour from Martinelli tells you everything you need to know about Arteta. No respect. None. Fuck him. Little toe rag. If my manager said that about one of our players doing that and didn't call him out on it, I'd be disgusted. Sorry, I'm trying to get you some more quotes here. Arne Slot said, I don't know Gabriel Martinelli, but he comes across as a nice guy. The problem for him is that there is so much time wasting and players pretending they're injured. Sometimes you get annoyed and you think players are time wasting. I'm 100% sure if he knew the injury might be, he'd never do that. It doesn't look great if Connor has the injury, which we fear he might have. Again, can mitigate it as much as he wants on either side. He did 2 things, 2 actions. And I knew that he was injured badly when he went to ground. Like, if he's trying to waste time, why is he going to ground with a clearance with nobody within 5 yards of him? Like, it's not like he was in a collision and he's over-egging it and he's trying to roll around. It's not like he's pretending his hamstring's gone and he's got a muscle strain. He made a clearance and went to ground immediately. Giovanni Leone made a clearance and went to ground immediately. And look what happened with him. And if I remember correctly, there was no one near him. So a bit of cop on here. It wasn't. Why would we be time wasting in that scenario? He cleared the ball and he goes down with no one near him. It isn't even comprehensible to me to think that somebody might think he's time wasting. They just don't want to say that he's just a little toe rag. If we end 4th in the Prem, semi in the Champions League and win the FA Cup, are you wearing it in a row? It depends. I don't even think I can answer you on that. Because how do we lose in the semi-final of the Champions League? Who is it to and how do we play? Winning the FA Cup is always welcome, but it's not one of the 2 big ones. And the aim at the start of the year was the Champions League or the Prem. So, I don't know, mate. I don't know. But I'm not turned around to being a supporter of his based off one decent away draw. But again, I don't want today to be about the longer term in and out thing. From my perspective, I want it to be about the praising of the good performance, which it deserves. Eddie said, how are we, mate? I'm all right, man. I'm pleasantly surprised with the draw. Right, let's give you your man of the match. So, with over 10,000 votes, Jeremy Frimpong with 39% is your Anfield Agenda man of the match. 39%. Milos Kerkez in second place with 27. Dominic Soboslai in third with 21. And Connor Bradley in fourth with 13. And thank you so much to everyone that took the time to vote. Irfan, sir, I want to say thank you to you again, publicly, for that incredibly kind donation you made to the GoFundMe. I'm not sure if you were with us for the last couple of days, but from behalf of Adam's family as well, who asked me to pass on to you their sincere thank you, mate, to that incredibly generous. You've left us just within 600 odd quid, which we will get to that target, and that is never, ever, ever, ever going to leave me, mate. Thank you. Love you to bits for that. Anyway, let's get to your comment. Wish we stayed on front foot in injury time. Bradley looked a bad injury. Frimpong didn't have end product, but showed how important pace is. I said this before to my dad when we were getting pegged back in the first half. Arsenal don't like it when you take the game to them at your own tempo. Well, whatever Arne said to the lads at halftime, we came out in the second half and we controlled the game and were the better team in that second half. And you were right in what you said to your dad as well. VI Joker said, weird result, but remember, to Arsenal fans, remember that we ain't going nowhere, despite our season so far. Yeah, they're never overly convincing. Like, the great Man City sides, as much as I despise them, would have looked at that as a chance to show we're the best today. Liverpool at Anfield would have found a way to try to show if we were that as much clear as Arsenal. But Arsenal again showed a fragility mentally today, which those chasing them down should take some comfort from. Plenty of games left for Arsenal to bottle it, said Ryan Johnson. But emotions take over when you love your people, said Joey. Absolutely, bro. Emotions do take over. You're saying this to somebody who kind of lives his life too emotionally, but you're right. I think Martinelli's yellow will be appealed as a red. No, can't be. Unless it can't be unless the referee puts something in his match report. Because it was seen and it was judged by the referee and VAR. So no, I don't think there's anything going to come of that. I'm Hungarian. I love Dom. He's a future captain candidate, but he needs to stop slowing down the game so many times. I know controlling the game is important, but he should advance more. That's a really good comment, because today I was thinking about a couple of occasions where Dom was in possession, and I don't know if I'm thinking this because of the perspective of the game that was in it, but I feel like if we were at home or we were playing somebody that I wasn't a bit more scared that we might drop points against, I would have wanted them to push forward a bit more today. But I had a couple of moments where I thought, he's protecting the ball today. He's slowing it down on purpose to let everybody get back into shape, because today I feel the plan was to not lose. And if you can win, great. But I think the plan was to not lose. And in that instruction, I understand that today. But overall, I do agree with your point. In my opinion, we played a lot better without Jones. We played much faster without him. He keeps the ball for too long. Today, everybody played good. It was just a good performance all around today. Yes, it was. I don't know. It's weird because I'm sitting here feeling like we've won. We obviously haven't, but like I just said, I feel like a very relieved Liverpool fan after even unbeaten in 9. Today just felt better. It just felt better because there was real fight in it, real grinding, fucking great, fucking yeah. Sorry, today felt like something we can build on, and hope we do. And again, the travelling Reds who went down to London this time will be going home a little bit more upbeat, I dare say, and yeah, I wish them safe travels back. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Can we talk about Wirtz skidding the defence? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think he takes a little bit too much out of the ball, to be honest. But other times I'm thinking, go on. He's got that thing, doesn't he, where it almost looks like Suarez had this mad ability to dribble through people where he'd no right to do it and still come out the other side of it. And Wirtz has a touch of that about him as well. Yeah, he's coming on leaps and bounds. Like I said, I've never doubted that we bought ourselves a superstar, and I still don't doubt it now. Bradley, the new Rob Jones, shame. He's a warrior. It is a shame, but, I think it's fair. He's injury prone. He is, but, no player ever wishes to be that way, which is it's so hard. Rob Jones was the same, as you said. Even going back before, Beglin had to end his career early. I feel for Conor Bradley in this moment, because we can always find a player, but this is a young man's career, his dreams that he's built towards, and keep him in your thoughts, because he's going to be hurting tonight as well. Craig, can the Premier League or the FA step in on Martinelli to suspend him? I don't believe so, because the referee seen it all and VAR seen it all and chose not to act outside of the yellow. Shane said, hope Bradley's injury isn't too serious, but it didn't look good. Martinelli is a disgrace and should be suspended. Absolutely disgusting behaviour. Thank you, Shane, as a United fan, for coming on and saying what's right, as you often do, to be fair, sir. Yeah, look, we're football people, and he's a professional footballer, and he did that to another footballer. It's disgusting. If Slot won the Champions League, would it change your mind? Would it change my mind? Probably. Yeah. Look, I said at the start of the year, the goal was one of the two big ones. I don't think we'll win the Champions League, but if we sit here at the end of the season and he wins the Champions League and you say, Craig, do you still want him out? I would be some prick to say I want a manager who's won a league and a Champions League in successive seasons out. But, you know, I think it's too early to be going over the top. But definitely today goes in the column of good days. VI Jokers and everybody saying, plus media usual stuff, Arsenal are going to smash us. Yeah, I think the players today just went out there professionally to prove something as well. Slot's just buying it, time just not enough. Maybe he is and maybe it won't be enough. You know, and we will talk about the future as each game goes by. But I always promise you one thing on this channel and one thing only. My honest view. I'll criticise when I think it needs to be criticised, but I like to think I'm somebody who will praise when it needs to be praised. And Arne got a performance out of the boys today. He got it tactically right, and he left there with a point. And for that, job well done. Toddy said the challenge on Wirtz was similar to the challenge on Doku yesterday for City, which still shows how inconsistent the referees in the Prem are. Yeah, there is a lot of inconsistencies on refereeing performances, no argument there. Bad non-contact injuries late in the game is exactly what happens with no subs. Arne subs hardly anyone ever and complains about depth. Look, but sorry, someone's gifted a load of memberships as well. Let me say quickly thank you to Aidan for gifting 10 memberships. I think there's no way we can pin this one on Arne for not making a change, because it's the way he landed and it was unlucky. And I will blame the manager for a lot of things that I think he deserves blaming on. But I can't see how in any way this comes down to Arne. It's just bad luck. And I don't think there's anything more to it than that. It's just bad luck. And of course, all of our thoughts are with young Conor Bradley. And I hope and it's not as bad as, you know, others fear it is. And the manager being one of them. But that being said, the premise of your point, I do understand. But I just think Bradley just seems to be one of those that picks up regular strains and knocks. And yeah, that's just a bad one today. Martinelli comes across as a rat bag, said VI Jokers. Would like to see us play 2 10s more. Did it at City last season with Jones and Dom. Spain won it at the World Cup with Fabregas up front. Hint, hint, Arne. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. We do need, look, that game today on its own, yeah, fair enough. But like, let's be honest, if we performed like that at home and they can create chances against somebody, we wouldn't be too happy. So it needs context to the setup. But again, today goes down as a good day. Paddy Walker said, oh, we've done that one, sorry. Thanks for not putting your content behind a paywall. Look, when we started this channel, I made a promise to everybody that we would never go behind the paywall. Now, I have absolutely no judgment to anybody on how they put out their content, behind paywalls or not. Each to their own, and I wish them all the best. There comes a point in every channel's development where you have to make that decision. Do you back yourself to build enough growth in viewership that the revenue side of things and being able to keep the lights on comes naturally through some sponsorships and the kindness of others and super chats and your ad rates? That's what we did. Truth be told, I looked at the United stand, I looked at Goldbridge, and I thought, he's one of the few successful ones I've seen that don't go behind a paywall. And I thought, we'll never maybe get to that level, but if we can sustain and keep the lights on without having to charge people for content, that's a win. Because I'm a fan. I'm not a professional pundit. I'm not an expert in anything. I don't like the idea of charging for my time. The memberships that people do are so appreciated, as are the super chats, but you always have my promise, there will be no paywall at Anfield Agenda, because it's been our Promise from day one. Decent point. Happy to slow them down a bit. Let's be honest, still not good enough for defending champions. 0 shots, 0 corners. Attackers could do more. But look, again, each to their own today. I'm putting today down as a good day and one I will certainly be happy with. But, we do need to do more and build and be better. I don't know. I just want to enjoy today. It's a point. It's not a huge point, but I just want to enjoy it because it's been tough going for the last few weeks. Yeah, sorry. Just, we all know it's been such a grind the last few weeks and we've all been frustrated. And today, it's a day that we can enjoy a bit. Right, we're going to start to wind this down, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, if you would like to submit your player ratings for a player ratings video, you can do so with the QR code in the bottom corner. Hope we can build on this from here. Good to see the fight. Slot not positive on the Bradley situation. Need to get a defender in this window. Well, I think we definitely already needed that, and now I think this probably just increases that need. Impressive second half. Kirkes was massive. Proud today. I think this performance probably shows that the team are still playing for slot. I had thought otherwise, to be honest. Build on this. So, this is where I'll be a bit cynical, Adam. I think that was a performance of professional pride, more so than anything else tonight. But I'm open to being proved wrong on that and that they are doing it for the manager. I think it was a professional pride performance. But look, either way, it was a good performance, my man. Do you think we would ever go for Bastoni? No, because I don't think he'll want to move to the Premier League. I think if he does leave Italy, he may end up in La Liga, and there's been some links there, but I'd love him. I think he's a great player. Missed the game due to work. 8 shots, 0 on target is embarrassing. We hit the crossbar. Well, look, I don't know, Ashley. You're entitled to your own opinion, but watch the game back. And if you still feel the same way, man, you still feel the same way, and we can talk about it tomorrow. But, for me, with no real forwards out there, and I'll take it as a good point. But, I don't know, maybe I'm deluded today, folks. Maybe I am delusionally optimistic today. But today, I feel relief because I was really not expecting to leave with any points. Canade showed heart, picking up for Bradley. Love it, said Foxy. Thank you, Carl. David Massett said, as a Scouser, Bradley plays for the badge. Absolutely. And Sean Harding as well. Thank you, my friend. Right, ladies and gents, I am off to record the player ratings video. Thank you so much to everyone that did join us. If you can, do hit that like button for me. Subscribe before you head off. And keep an eye out for the player ratings video coming up inside the next 20-25 minutes. Until then, appreciate you all so much for your support again tonight. Hopefully this is the start of us starting to turn a corner. But well done to everybody that played for the Reds tonight. Put in a hell of a shift and leave with a well-deserved point.